Ravi was an ordinary man. Born in a small town, he grew up with the regular expectations that most children face: be good in school, respect your elders, and above all, succeed in life. The pressure on him to be the best was immense, and like most people, he grew up thinking that success meant meeting societal expectations. He was the son who had to excel in everything to make his family proud, the student who had to top every class to win the appreciation of his teachers, and the future businessman who had to prove himself in the ruthless world outside. However, as Ravi grew older, this idea of success started weighing him down. He studied hard to meet the pressure but realized that the more he worked, the more distant he became from himself. The constant demand for perfection in everything he did made him lose his joy. He was always in competition with everyone, with his friends, his cousins, and even with strangers. The more he succeeded, the higher the bar was set for him. One day, after a long series of sleepless nights preparing for an exam, Ravi sat in his room staring at the walls. He couldn't concentrate anymore. His mind felt like a whirlwind, a never-ending cycle of achieve more, do more, be better. The pressure to perform wasn't just coming from his family or society but also from his inner self. He had internalized all these expectations to the point that he no longer knew who he really was. In his early years, Ravi was a joyful boy. He used to enjoy playing cricket with his friends in the alley, dreaming of one day becoming a professional cricketer. But somewhere along the way, those dreams were buried under the weight of realistic expectations. The dream of playing for India was replaced by the dream of becoming a successful businessman with a fancy car and an impressive bank balance. He had told himself that this was what he was supposed to do, what everyone expected of him. His college life mirrored this cycle. Ravi wasn't someone who would enjoy a casual chat with friends or enjoy a day off to relax. He was constantly studying, networking, and working on projects to secure a good future. Despite all his hard work, there was a sense of emptiness inside. He had all the qualifications but none of the contentment he had once hoped for. Then came the day when he got his first job at a prestigious company. His family was thrilled. They threw a grand celebration, and Ravi was expected to give a speech on his success. He smiled, gave his speech, and was happy on the surface, but deep inside, something was gnawing at him. He had climbed the ladder to success, but there was no joy in the achievement. It felt hollow. The real breaking point came when Ravi was asked to lead a team on a high-profile project. He had worked so hard to get here, but now the weight of responsibility crushed him. He stayed up late every night, trying to make sure that every little detail was perfect. Every time a mistake was made, no matter how small, he felt like a failure. The fear of disappointing everyone, his boss, his team, his family, kept him up at night. The pressure to always be perfect became unbearable. The more Ravi tried to cooperate with society's expectations, the more he lost himself. He stopped spending time with friends, ignored his health, and distanced himself from the things he once loved. He no longer had time for his old hobbies, and his world had become all about work, success, and meeting others' standards. He felt like he was stuck in a never-ending race, constantly moving forward but never truly enjoying the journey. One evening, after yet another grueling day at work, Ravi decided to take a break. He walked aimlessly through the streets, not knowing where he was going. He wandered into a small park near his office, where he used to sit as a child and watch the birds fly. Sitting on the same bench, he realized how much he had changed. He had become a stranger to himself. The dreams he had once cherished seemed so distant, like they belonged to another person. In that moment of solitude, Ravi started questioning everything. Is this really what I want? He thought. Is this the life I dreamt of, or is this just what society expected of me? He felt like he was living for others, for approval, and not for himself. The very idea of success had become a trap, a never-ending chase for something that wasn't even real. The next few weeks were tough for Ravi. He started to take small steps toward rediscovering himself. He took a day off from work, something he hadn't done in years. He reconnected with his old friends and even started playing cricket again, though not with the ambition of being a pro but just to enjoy the game. He began reading books on philosophy and mindfulness, trying to understand what truly mattered to him. Slowly, he realized that happiness didn't come from meeting others' expectations. It came from being at peace with oneself. Ravi didn't quit his job or abandon his responsibilities, but he learned to set boundaries. He stopped comparing himself to others and focused on doing things that brought him genuine joy. He realized that success didn't have to look a certain way. It didn't have to fit society's narrow definition of wealth, fame, and perfection. True success, he learned, was about being true to oneself, accepting imperfections, and finding peace in the journey. As the months passed, Ravi found a new sense of balance. He learned that it was okay to make mistakes, that not everything had to be perfect. He could be successful in his own right, without constantly chasing someone else's version of success. And while the pressure from society would always be there, Ravi had learned to navigate it in a way that didn't break him. He had found the courage to step out of the race, to breathe, and to truly live. In the end, Ravi understood that the true meaning of life wasn't about meeting expectations or achieving perfection. It was about finding happiness in the little things, in being present, and in being true to who you really are. And with that realization, he was finally free.